Hi, within this lecture, we're going to get some commands back from Kali Linux and we're going to run these commands on our Windows machine. So we have sent some data to the Kali Linux machine in here, right? So now we're going to send back again data from Kali Linux to the Windows. We didn't see how to do that before. After we get data from Kali Linux, it's very easy to run this as a command using subprocess. You already know how to do that. But the main idea here is to learn how to get data back from Kali Linux. So let me go back to Windows. And remember, we have sent this connection OK. And in Kali Linux, it caused an ugly appearance here. We have to have a new line after saying connection OK. So I'm going to just add this \n as a new line, as an escape character in here. Okay? So since we have used .send method in order to send data, now we're going to use .receive method in order to receive data. And we're going to receive our command, right? So I'm going to call a variable here for comment, and I'm going to make this equal to myConnection.receive, and you have to spell receive as RECV in this case because that's how they define the receive method. And in the receive method you have to specify the bytes of data that you're going to be receiving. For right now I'm going to say 1024 kilobytes, but later on we will discuss how we can effectively use this to transfer big data as well. Don't worry about the amount right now. So within this line we will be able to get a data back from Kali Linux. After it says connection OK on Kali Linux, it will wait for a data to send back and it will receive that command in Windows. And you know how to execute this command, right? It's very easy with using subprocess. So let me import subprocess library here, and actually let me define a function in order to run this command, because maybe we will use subprocess in more than one line later on. So I'm going to say def command execution, okay, and as an input it will take a command, and this will be our command that we got from Kali Linux. Okay, I'm going to give this command as an input later on, and this will return my command execution result. And remember, if we use check output rather than call, we can see the output, the result of the called executed command. What we have not seen before is to how to run these commands without a list. So right now we're getting our command as a string. So there is a way to do that actually, even though it's not preferred. All you have to do is just say command, then put a comma and say use shell. So shell is true. Okay? And as I said before, this is not preferred because using list as an input will be more convenient, will be more safe, and we will actually change our code later on. But for right now, test purposes, just use this command shell true thing. So right now, let me run my command execution function in here and give command as an input. And if you just assign this to be a variable, right, because it will return the output of the executed command, then I will have to store this in a variable, and you can call this command result, command executed, command output, whatever you want, because we want to store this in a variable so that we can send it back to Kali Linux. Okay, so let me go over these commands one by one. This will connect to Kali Linux. It will say connection OK. It will ask for a command, and once it got back to this command, it will execute it, and we will have to send the execution back to the Kali Linux once more. So I'm calling this command output. Then I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to say my connection.send, and command output is the thing that I want to be sending right now. And after that, I think we can test this code. So let me save this. Okay. And before we run this, of course, we can go to Kali Linux and listen this once more on netcat with the same command, no different. So let me go back to Windows and run this code. So let me minimize this and run the same command once more. So now, as you can see, it didn't just finish the execution, it's waiting for something. And what's it waiting for is the command. So here it's waiting as well. So what we write here will get sent to the Windows machine. So I'm going to write a Windows command. It's dir, and as you can see, immediately we got back the results. So it executed that command, it sent us back to the result. So our code actually works. But we need to improve one thing. It just stops after executing one command. But I don't want to be closing this session. I don't want to close this connection as long as I want, right? So I have to loop this in Windows. And as you might guess, I'm going to be using while true to be just execute this as long as I want. So I'm going to say while true. I'm going to take all of this and hit tab to be indented, okay? And this will be run infinitely as long as I don't stop or I don't hit Control C on my Kali Linux. So let me test this. Okay, let me clear this and let me listen this port. And let me go back to Windows and try this code once more. So if I go back, so this is waiting for me. If I say dir, now it got back me the result, but it didn't stop. So let me run ipconfig and hit enter. And as you can see, we got back the ipconfig result as well. And it didn't stop. It still waits for me to complete my work here. Now once I hit Ctrl C in my keyboard, it will just stop this listener here, and if we go back to Windows, we will see that we got an error here because the connection got lost, and we're going to be dealing with that error later on with handling error methods. So I think we are done right now. Let us stop here, and within the next lecture we're going to be working on our own listener.